Hi folks. Almost 8 months after Hamas terrorists launched an attack on innocent Israeli citizens, the war continues. There's the actual war, and in the past day, rockets have been fired from Rafah towards Tel Aviv, and yesterday Israel responded with a targeted strike of its own. Then there's the verbal war protesters around the world are engaging in, protests on campus, which features a disturbing rise in anti-Semitism, the likes of which haven't been seen since the Second World War, when it was demanded never again. As outlined in the New York Post, the former Harvard professor Alan Dershowitz likened anti-Semitism on college campuses to the early days of Nazi Germany in the 1930s.
This is much like what happened in Germany in the early 1930s, when Nazi students blocked Jews from entering universities. This is a lot like the lead up to what happened in the 1940s. I'm not saying there's going to be another Holocaust. There won't, because Israel is strong, and even if it has to stand alone against this kind of bigotry, it will do so. But what's going on college campuses today, Harvard graduation the other day, students walked out. Students wore Hamas supportive garb. Students, were on Hamas's side, and they are our future leaders. That's what worries me.
It is true, much of the anti-Semitism is driven by youths. So what does that mean for Israel's place in the world 10, 20 years down the track? What does it say about leadership that's allowing it to flourish? Many of those protesters at campuses, including here in Australia, I'm sure, haven't bothered to learn about the Holocaust and are being hoodwinked by activists on social media. I spoke to Australia's former Treasurer, Josh Frydenberg, about that very point.
There's a lack of historical memory about where anti-Semitism can lead, namely the events of the Second World War and the Holocaust, where 6 million Jews and 1.5 million Jewish children lost their lives, among many others. At the same time, they're getting their information, not from the broadsheets, not from books, as much as they are from YouTube and TikTok, and they're getting sound bites, and they're getting misinformation and disinformation, and that means that they don't really understand the real issues that are taking place in the Middle East. They don't have an understanding of the history and the context, and therefore they're chanting slogans that they really don't appreciate the meaning of, and how those slogans incite violence and create hate in our community.
Bill Maher, who slipped up a few times in recent weeks while promoting his book, particularly when it comes to Hillary Clinton, at least made an accurate point here about misguided protesters. Now, there are those who are genuinely concerned about the plight of the Palestinian people. Fair enough, no problem there. But then there are others who are lighting fires and fanning the flames of hatred with such chants, including "From the river to the sea."
It's astounding to me that they can't tell the good guys from the bad guys. I mean, just morally. I mean, let me tell you, if you're for Hamas, just live in Gaza for a day. And I'm not talking about while the war is on. I mean, before the war. Trust me, you would go running and screaming and begging to live in Tel Aviv, and that land back. They could have chosen to turn that place into any place they wanted to, and they took a lot of money that they took from the international community, and they spent it on bombs and guns and building tunnels. So if they need to be destroyed, how do we do that? It's a war. I don't know how to do that, and you don't know how to do that. I assume the Israeli... Of course, everybody is, but that's what happens in a war. Here's a way to stop that. Stop attacking Israel.
Now, those students who are chanting anti-Semitic slogans really should set some time aside and watch the BBC documentary Auschwitz, the Nazis and the Final Solution. Let's see if they still feel the same way afterwards. Never again, we said then, and we should be saying that again now. Thanks for watching. To support this channel, please like, share and subscribe below. See you next week.